Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. This is RubiGamingx. We're going to be talking about the brand new figures that got revealed for Hiya Toys and MonsterArts. We have a much clearer look at them. We currently saw MonsterX and I think that's looking really fantastic, and another classic Godzilla from MonsterArts. This one apparently has extended shoulders, and I believe the head sculpture around the head can actually extend. And this figure is also looking fantastic. Now for Tiamat, I know that a lot of people don't like the paint job and they're saying it's not accurate. Trust me, it's very accurate. If you go back to the book where it shows all the monsters for the Monsterverse, you can actually see or just online how Tiamat actually looks. The only difference is that we got used to the different variants that we saw in the animated version of it in the comic books. Up next, we have Godzilla Final Wars. This is from Hiya Toys. As far as I can tell, they nailed this figure with the articulation, the paint application, the details. I can tell they really put a lot of time into this figure, and you can really see even the smallest details. Up next, Kiryu Heavy Arms from Hiya Toys. Now this proves my point that I've been saying time after time. Patience is key. There's no real point anymore of getting the original releases. Given the fact they're releasing with the bare minimum accessories, this Kiryu actually has more accessories. They're not displayed right here, but in a different picture, you do see more accessories with this Kiryu or Mechagodzilla 3. Now for Super Mechagodzilla, again, a lot of people are super excited for the original, but the original only comes with the figure. By the looks of this, you actually get the upgraded jetpack, some effects for the beams on his eyes, and for his chest part on his stomach. Ultimately, I think this is the better version. Definitely, there's no questions asked, and that's why I've been telling people do not rush to pre-order the originals anymore, because you're just getting robbed in a way, cheaped out on what you could potentially be getting for almost the same price, if not just a little bit more. Look at this image and notice how many accessories Super Mechagodzilla has and effects. It's insane. Same thing for this Kiryu. This Kiryu has more accessories than the original, and believe me, the original was more on the expensive side. So I believe definitely patience is key to getting the ultimate set when it comes to figures. And here we have the original. We saw the Mecha King Ghidorah. We have some of the older / newer releases from Hiya Toys. A better look at Godzilla Ultima. I'm convinced every time that this is actually the comic version of Godzilla Ultima, which I don't mind. I actually do prefer that version a lot more than the animated version, but regardless, there is differences with the MonsterArts in terms of the scaling, the texture around his tail, chest area, and body. Also, the sculpture is very different, as you know, it's the biggest selling point with the articulated points. If you want my opinion, I do prefer this one over the MonsterArts, but the MonsterArts isn't bad, although it has become a little rare, and it's understandable why people would want to go with this if it is going to be a little bit more cheaper, but I don't see this being that cheap. Up next, we have to talk about MonsterArts, Keizer Ghidorah, and Hiya Toys. I've been seeing a lot of unnecessary hate for MonsterArts. People are saying that it's very inaccurate, that the colors are off, that this and that. And truth be told, you know, I've been doing some comparisons and they're almost identical. I've said it in my previous video, you know, when it's very difficult to tell who's doing better, that's how you know both figures are phenomenal. And I'm not here to hate on any company. Whatever you want to buy, that's your money. Don't let anybody decide for you. I think both sculptures are beautiful. With that being said, I did notice some differences with both sculptures. First of all, they're both sculpted by different people, and they're painted very different. That does not mean that one is worse than the other in terms of sculpture, because they're very accurate. The only difference that this is going to come into play is how much articulation, how much range, and how the figure was painted. Now, when you look at both, I can tell that the Hiya Toys has more weathering, meaning there's more blacks throughout the body. There's more of a black wash, which gives it more highlight, giving it like the appearance that it has more details. But truth be told, that's not the case. Hiya Toys and MonsterArts have similar details, similar sculptures. Now you must remember this is still a very early prototype. The articulation is not finished. So what you're seeing is not the final product, but I'm also not 100% sure that it's going to improve any better in terms of the paint job. But I could be wrong. MonsterArts for me is entering a new phase where we're currently seeing them actually try with their figures, new sculptures, new reissues with better stuff included, new boxes. I think they felt the competition, and they might have gotten inspired. And that's a good thing, It's always good to have competition to provide better products, better quality, and better in everything. So for me personally, when it comes to Keizer Ghidorah, the question is who's going to provide the better articulation, the better range, how the ball joints are going to hold, poses, who's going to provide better quality material. For example, if one of those two companies provided realistic marble eyes, included effects, included accessories, included brand new engineering that we have never seen before on figures, and that actually makes their figures stand out. On top of that, it's very important how the figure is priced and release date. Those things are going to determine where people go and what they choose. Now that's only a percentage because regardless of what each individual company offers, there's always people that support a company no matter what happens, and that's your choice. I'm not hating on it. I think that's your money, your decision. So go for whatever you want. But that's my opinion. I think people saying that this sculpture is very inaccurate for Keizer Ghidorah from MonsterArts, it's bullshit. I've been looking at them very closely. There's hardly any differences. If anything, I only spotted differences where the articulation sections were cut or how it was engineered and the paint application. That's what I found, and maybe in size. We don't know exactly how big the MonsterArts will be or the weight or anything else. That's going to be determined very soon. I'm assuming if they have already revealed this figure, I'm expecting official pictures to go up pretty soon within maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we'll see what happens. I think both companies are doing a fantastic job offering different figures and the same figures for their customers in different ways. And that's a good thing because you don't want to own the same sculpture, the same figure over and over. And I know a lot of people love to collect a lot of the same figures multiple times, but as I said it years ago, I quit that. Personally, I do not want to have 5 different Godzillas anymore. I'm just going to stick to 1 or 2. Personally, I want to make my collection stand out with different monsters, make it look dynamic, interesting, and not have the same Godzilla multiple times. Okay, that's my idea, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been looking really great. I know there's people that collect maybe the same Godzilla 5 to 10 times with different variants. If that's what you want to do, go on, that's your money. And this goes back to the topic of collecting Hiya Toys and their original releases. At this point, I don't think there's any value of doing that anymore. What's the point of collecting a figure that's going to come out with the bare minimum, and then for the second and third release you get the ultimate sets? You get a better articulated figure, better paint job, better accuracy, more accessories, more effects. So you kind of feel like you got robbed in a way for getting it first. And I've always said it, patience is key to success, to what you want to achieve in life and get. So, at this point, I would not even be surprised if with Super Mechagodzilla and with Kiryu, maybe down within a few years, for their third or even fourth release, we see a light up Kiryu, a light up Super Mechagodzilla with sounds. I mean, they've been doing that already with the legendary version with Shimo. I think we can all agree that Hiya Toys needs to change that, and we want to see the first releases have the full potential, meaning the full package, not half-baked. None of that. We already lived that with other companies, and we don't have to repeat that. And I think Hiya Toys should do better and knows better. We don't want to have a figure that's missing half of the package, missing half of his accessories, her accessories, and yeah, it's not a good feeling for collectors. It's not a good feeling overall, and especially for your money. Regardless, let me know in the comments down below what you think about the figures for the upcoming years to come. What do you think is your favorite one? Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe for more information and more videos. This is RubiGamingx. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.